What is up, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are feeling a bit better than I am today. I'm definitely under the weather. I have a cold, stuffed up nose. I have a sore throat, and actually, my stomach has been pretty upset all morning. So, it hasn't been a pleasant morning for me. So, the question, is for me right now is, should I train today or not? Um, and I think this is a common question, for people, who may be experiencing some illness, especially, when you're kind of riding a really nice wave of progress, when you have really good momentum going, and you do end up getting sick, it's hard to just kind of, just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take some time off, because you got that fear or the insecurity of losing progress, or the fear of kind of just going back and seeing regression. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I've been riding a really nice wave of momentum. Last week, on actually it was Friday, I do believe. When I was training on Friday evening, I usually take some progress pictures, late in the week after my training to kind of see where I'm at in regards to, my prep progress, as far as the visual progress, how I'm looking. And it was, probably the best look I've had, so far, and since 2014, when the last time I prepped. So to kind of see, okay, I'm making some good strides here. Visually, I'm improving. It's the best I've looked so far this year. So really, there's a lot of excitement and there's good momentum going my way. Um, so to kind of see that, like today, just to kind of think about, okay, if I don't keep training or I don't keep pushing, I'm not going to continue furthering that improvement. I could actually kind of stop progress. So that is, a little bit of insecurity there, a little bit of fear there, and just to kind of give some context, leading up to kind of where I'm at today. I think the reasoning behind the illness that I'm experiencing right now is that last week, last Monday, I made a judgment call to kind of intensify the diet a little bit, like lower my calories down. And in regards to cardio, I decided to, make the cardio more miss, instead of list. So pushing the cardio a little bit harder, pushing the diet a little bit harder, and my calories, lowered them down to 1900. And for a guy my size, that is not a lot of food. And I know probably some people that just heard that were like, "What the hell? You're only taking in 1900 calories." And the thing is that, just to give context to that situation, I am pretty sedentary. The chair that you see me sitting on right now, I'm glued to it for a good chunk of my day. So I'm not very active. I'm pretty sedentary. So I don't really require a lot of calories. And in order to see fat loss progress, I do have to kind of, like, at times, get in there and dig pretty hard. And lowering calories to 1900 is not something that I would do for long periods of time. It would be like, okay, let me push for a week, maybe 2 weeks, then we back it off. But I'll save that for another video. But yeah, I'd lower the calories down from 1900. So last week, from Monday till Thursday, actually, I was pushing pretty hard. 1900 calories. I was doing 45 minutes of cardio. It was miss, which is a little bit more intense than my list that I typically do. So I pushed harder, but I did see results. Like I said, Friday evening after that workout, it's the leanest I've looked. Thus far, I saw improvements from the week prior. So in regards to the protocol change, it was productive. It actually worked really well. The downside to it, though, is that obviously I push my body harder than it's been pushed here lately, especially with this prep. So, and where I'm kind of at within the prep. So it was actually on Friday morning when I got up, I really wasn't feeling that great. Like, I was not sick, but I can tell that the calories were, because they were lowered, because I was pushing harder with the cardio. My energy levels on Friday really weren't that great. I was feeling like my overall mood was darker, like I wasn't as upbeat. And for me, a marker, like for me to know if I'm a little bit dark as far as the way I'm thinking and things, is that I typically don't really, like, if I get on social media and things like that, like I don't have as much patience for it. Like it's just like it's kind of like, ugh, I look at it and go, ugh. Or if I think about posting something, I just like, I don't feel like doing it. And it's just because I'm not like my more happy, energetic self. So I saw that sign. And then I also saw, that I noticed that my feet had been hurting starting Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, my feet were actually hurting quite a bit. And usually like from walking or being on my feet. And what that's from is just there's less padding on my feet now. Probably from, I'm getting leaner now, and so therefore my feet are getting flatter. So I know like the signs of like my body, like, okay, it's starting to get pushed, and I'm just starting to feel the effects from that. So Friday, I actually went ahead and took an unscheduled refeed. Usually, I have my refeeds Saturday and Sunday, so I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to refeed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I took 3 days of refeeding in the hopes that more food would kind of help me to recover and get me out of that state that I was experiencing, the fatigue, the darker moods and all that. And I was just hoping that would kind of get me more uplifted and kind of get me recovered, just kind of reset things so I could today, Monday, go ahead and start pushing again. And then, factor in, I don't train on Saturdays, Sundays as far as weight training. I typically don't do cardio just on Sundays, but I went ahead and took cardio off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and there was no weight training on Saturday, Sunday. So I was hoping today I would feel better. And also, another thing that I noticed too from last week from getting really aggressive with the protocol was that my sleep started to suffer. I was sleeping less. So factor in lower food, harder cardio, less sleep. I think even with the 3-day refeed, the backing off on cardio for 3 days, no training Saturday, Sunday, I still think there was just more fatigue there than I can really kind of fight off. And today, I woke up sore throat, stuffed up head, stuffed up nose, upset stomach. You name it, it's feeling pretty lousy today. So that's basically, in a nutshell, kind of the context behind, I think, why I got sick. So the decision today, it's hard to just say, you know what, I need to take a day or two off, more training, more cardio, and, potentially maybe even a little bit more. So extending that 3-day refeed into a 4 or even 5-day refeed. So in a sense, just, kind of just resting and recovering a bit more. It's hard to do that because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, if I do that, I'm not going to see fat loss. I'm going to put a hold on that, so I'm going to lose progress. And then actually, if I'm not in the gym training, then I might get a little detrained in a sense, and therefore I won't be, I'm not going to be gaining muscle anyways because I'm prepping. I'm in a deficit overall. But maintaining muscle mass, like making sure performance in my training is there to maintain my muscle mass. So there's a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of fear, but I also know that thinking from a big picture perspective, and again, it's easy for me now with 32 years of training under my belt and with over 30 shows under my belt, that it's easy to think in a big picture, from a big picture perspective, because of all the experience that I have. So I also know that if I were to, let's say, ignore the fact that I'm sick and kind of just, let the ego take over, let the fear and the insecurity make the decisions, if I decide to go in there later today and do a training session, knowing, that I am under the weather, knowing that I'm not at 100%, chances are, if I push myself in the gym, I'm gonna make myself even, right now I'm saying I'm probably about 75%. I might make myself 65% tomorrow morning when I get up, or even 50%, or maybe worse, depending how hard I would train. And knowing my personality and how I train, it's hard for me to go into the gym and just have like a really light training session. Like, I'm not one to just half-ass things. So let's say if your personality is anything like mine, then I know you're not going to go into the gym and half-ass it. You're going to get after it. And I've done that in the past where I've been sick. I disregarded, that I was sick, or ignored it, or let my ego kind of just take things over, and let the insecurity kind of make that decision. I've gone in there and trained decently hard, and I've made matters worse. So you're thinking you're pushing, oh, just keep pushing through this because you don't want to lose that progress. You want to keep making that progress. But if you end up doing that like I have in the past, what ends up happening is I actually take 2 steps back. So making that smart decision, and it's hard to come back from that. Like, it's hard to come back. Like, if you do make yourself worse, chances are that sickness that could have been knocked out of the way in maybe 2 or 3 days, now it's taking you a week, maybe even longer to recover. And then the fact that you've been down for a week or 2 weeks, when you do finally get back into the gym, you're not going to be able to get back to 100% in that first, 1 or 2 sessions. It might take you a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks or more to get yourself back up to 100%. So I know from experience, where, when I've let the big picture kind of take over, and I have taken that time off, like take a day off from training, maybe 2 days off, 3 days off from training, feed myself a little bit more, that my 75% I'm feeling now, I'm back up to 100 a lot faster. And then heading back into the gym after I'm 100%, I don't train at 100%. I have to forcefully tell myself, treat the first, workout or 2 or 3, if it need be, treat it like a deload, and just go light and taper back into full speed. That way there's I'm not basically taking any more steps backwards. So in a sense, I know today I need to basically take that step back in order to take 2 steps forward. That's always been, I would say a good 99% of the time that has been the right call for me. And again, this is coming from 32 years of past experiences. I'm sure you could probably go elsewhere, go online and do research and look all this up, and some might say you can definitely train when you have a cold or whatever, but to me it's really kind of not worth the risk. And I always feel like if you're not at 100%, and you push your body like it is, then chances are you're going to take a little bit deeper step than just 1 back. You might take 2 or 3 back, and that's, to me, it's just you're going to end up spinning your wheels a bit more. So hopefully this is helpful to others out there. And again, for me, the way I kind of don't let my insecurity kind of get the best of me, or my fears, is that I also know that seeing like muscle atrophy or losing absolute strength is going to take a lot longer than taking a couple days off from the gym, or even a week off from the gym. So that kind of just gives me a sense of security. And I also know once I get back into the gym, even if there is, let's say, a little bit of a slide, that comes back really, really fast. And yeah, so that's basically all I got for you. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to get back to drinking my nice warm, hot chocolate, and hopefully I feel better by tomorrow, or maybe even the next day. And then, the week or 2 after, I'm probably going to, be thankful that I made the big picture decision.